Hello, Michigan fans. Hello, YouTube subscribers, and hello, Facebook. This is Harry Bryant. I'm just here. It's dealing with this whole Michigan scandal situation with these cheating allegations. And it's so many stories that's coming out of the woodwork about all of this new developments that's coming with, well, they caught this guy on camera, they call him at the games, and then all these other stories about Michigan gave him a $15,000 budget to go and purchase tickets and to go to these games of our future opponents, and all of this nonsense that is being rumored and being blasted all over social media with no evidence, and people just going based on hearsay and not waiting until the actual evidence come out, if there's any evidence at all. It's like when it rains it pours when it comes to Michigan. It's like before the allegations came out, people was rooting against Michigan. They didn't want to see Michigan win. They didn't want to see Michigan on the verge of winning it all this year. And it's just like we already had our haters already. Now with all of this mess eluding and a dark cloud hovering over our program, now it seems like you got more people that's out with their pitchforks and want to burn Michigan at the stake. And it's just like, what in the heck is happening here? Because now all of a sudden, out of the woodwork, now you got all these allegations and stuff. But if it was any other program, then you would never hear about this. This subject wouldn't even see the light of day. But since it's Michigan, now all of these allegations coming out with, with Michigan supposed to be scouting teams and filming other teams' practices or games or whatever the case. Now, like I said in my video, my previous videos, the timing of it is very suspicious. Because if you take a look at it, Michigan in the middle of the season was 7-0 before they played Michigan State and blew the doors off Michigan State, and now they're 8-0. Okay, middle of the season. Then Michigan was on the verge of giving Jim Harbaugh a big, huge contract. Now, all of these allegations all of a sudden surfaced the moment Jim Harbaugh was going to put the pen to paper and sign that contract. Now you got all this mess happening, trying to derail everything Michigan built. And now here's the thing. Now it doesn't matter if Michigan is found innocent in court of people's opinion. Michigan is always going to be labeled as cheaters. Well, you should put an asterisk right next to the season. Even if Michigan does win it all, it goes. You put a big asterisk behind it because of all of these allegations that came up. Michigan would never get the benefit of the doubt. And it was already hard enough for Michigan to get the benefit of the doubt. And that was before these allegations came out. Now, with everything is surfacing out of the woodwork or whatever the case, now it's going to be like, okay, Michigan is guilty. We don't care what the NCAA come up with. They don't care even if the ruling come out that Michigan did not violate any rules and regulations. Michigan will always going to be guilty in the court of people's opinions. I mean, it's just not, it is what it is. Now they have something to point their finger at and accuse Michigan of being a bunch of cheaters. But really what upsets me about the whole thing is, like I said, the timing of it. The whole timing of it is very suspicious to me. And now they talking about some third-party firm or something went to the NCAA with this allegation thing. But they never released the name of the person or the accuser that went and told the NCAA about what was going on. Okay, now, if you're accused of doing something, would that be right to know who your accuser is? Just to give reference of who this person that's supposed to leak this information to the press or to the NCAA? No, the NCAA turned around and they leaked the press to the public. And they did that without checking their sources. They ran with the story, and now all of a sudden it's just blowing up everywhere. It's like on YouTube. I can't even look on YouTube. I can't even go on YouTube with something always dealing with Michigan. Then on Facebook, every article that I scroll across got something to do with everything going on at Michigan. And it's just like Michigan was on the verge of having one of their best seasons in over 2 decades. And now for all of it to be overshadowed by this. Man, you know, it's hard to be a Michigan Wolverine, especially it feels like you really actually have the world against you. Now all of a sudden Ohio State, back then Ohio State talking about Ohio State versus the world. Man, Ohio State, they well loved by everybody. But now when it comes to Michigan, now it was literally the world against Michigan. Now you got these so-called people that really, you know, just like I said, they really hated Michigan in the first place. And now all of a sudden, now they got something that they can draw their pitchforks. And it's like, dang, I mean, let the NCAA do their investigation and whatever findings they have or whatever the case, then let those findings be released to the general public before they start to make assumptions that Michigan did something wrong. But in today's society, they don't do that. They don't let the courts or they don't let people do their job and let them investigate and then let them find out or let them see what's happening with our program. You know, I'm going to say it like this. As a Michigan fan, I'm going to say it just like this. I will always support my team. Okay? Even if what they're saying about what Michigan claimed to do is true, and if it is true, our program is going to be hard to recover from that. I'm not going to lie about it. It's going to be an uphill battle for Michigan at this point. If everything they said about what Michigan did was true, and they broke the NCAA law, the NCAA already had it out for Jim Harbaugh and already had it out for Michigan. And now with these allegations and all this stuff leaking out, and if it's true that if Michigan is guilty of what they are accused of, I'm gonna tell you what's gonna happen. They're gonna go back 2 years, maybe 3 years, and have all those wins wiped away, vacated. Never happened. All those championships we won, those 2 Big Ten championships, gone. Vacated. And reduction of scholarships. And here's the thing that's going to really hurt Michigan. We're not going to be able to participate in the bowl game if they find this out. Now, people say that the NCAA will take years, possibly years, to come up with their finding. But with the Big Ten don't have to wait. The Big Ten can just go ahead and just render their decision right away and just say Michigan is not eligible for a bowl game this year as a form of a punishment. See, the Big Ten don't have to wait. See, the NCAA, they have to make sure their I's is dotted, T's crossed, whatever the case. But with the Big Ten, they don't have to wait a long time to render their decision. They can just go ahead and say, well, until whatever the case, we find Michigan is ineligible for bowl participation. Now, and that's just the Big Ten championship game, actually, by the way. I'm sorry. The Big Ten championship, that they're going to say that Michigan is ineligible to play in the Big Ten championship game. But here's two things. One, the NCAA, and number two, the CFP committee. And those two are totally separate because the NCAA don't have control over the CFP. So the CFP can look and say if Michigan doesn't play, let's say if Michigan goes 12-0, beat Ohio State, beat Penn State, and beat their remaining opponents, whatever the case. And let's say that the Big Ten come out and say that Michigan is ineligible to play in the Big Ten championship game. The CFP can look at that and says, well, that's the same thing as a loss because Michigan never played. But even though Michigan is undefeated in the regular season, but because Michigan was found ineligible to play in the Big Ten championship game, that could mess up Michigan's chances to play in the CFP. So it's just so many questions rather than answers. And I know I'm up like 12-1 in the morning, but this is what true Michigan fans do, and I'm a true Michigan fan. And I'm just so invested in this team. It is just totally disappointing for me to see all of this and see our good program being trampled over. Now, if this something that was self-inflicted by our coaching staff, then, even if Jim Harbaugh did not know what was happening, but yet it happened, that does not exonerate Jim Harbaugh from whatever penalties that may be coming. And that doesn't exempt or exonerate our program. Because this Connor dude was claimed to be on the Michigan staff, and whatever the case, and he was considered as an employee. And so if he gone out purchasing tickets and go to these future opponent games, whatever the case, that's illegal. I mean, it's not illegal to go to the games, but it is illegal if you film in the games. If you film the other teams, signs, signals, whatever the case, and you electronically filming it, then yeah, that's illegal according to the NCAA. So if Michigan is found guilty of that, and they find a whole lot of evidence that's stacked up against Michigan, our program is gonna be like dumb. It's gonna be like it's gonna be in such a disarray that it's going to take this whoever our new head coach is gonna be, because we know Jim Harbaugh's leaving after this year. I mean, there's no secret. That man's going back to the National Football League. That's no secret that man is pretty much done with this whole college football thing because of everything that transpired and whatever the case. But the new coach that is going to come to Michigan or already there and going to be promoted as head coach, he's going to have to clean up the image. He's going to have to clean up. He's going to have to repair the damage that was done to our program because of all this mess. And it's going to take years and years and years to clean it. And it's going to be a long, hard years that's ahead for Michigan. And now with all of this mess going on, Michigan can, like I said, Michigan can have a perfect season probably in the next 3 or 4 years. This very thing will constantly hang over Michigan and say, well, Michigan must be cheating. They must be stealing more signals, huh? That's the only way they can win games. And we will never hear the end of it. I mean, it's just so unfortunate as a fan. And my whole position is like this. They can vacate anything they want. They can vacate our wins. They can take away our championships. They can take away our, they could take away our opportunity to win the national championship, but they will never stop me from being a fan. I will support my team. I've been supporting my team for nearly 18 years. I've been a Michigan fan for nearly 18 years. I've been with my team when Michigan was going through their down years with Brady Hoke, with Rich Rod, and with those guys. And you know what? I never jumped the fence. I never jumped and abandoned my team. And I won't do it now. I'm a Michigan fan for life. Take the championships, take the trophies, erase the records, vacate the wins. They can do whatever they want. But I will always support my team no matter what. Even if the whole world laughs at us, which, I mean, they do it anyway. But I will always support my team. Because that's what Michigan fans do. A real Michigan fan. So, that's my take on this whole thing. It's very disheartening. It's very disturbing, to say the least. And if you're a Michigan fan, I'm pretty sure that you feel the exact same way. That why all of this happened at this particular moment. It's like, it's like people was waiting for Michigan to do something wrong so they can point their finger and like, we knew why they winning all the time because they must be cheating. And now, people go run with anything that people say and without even any evidence. People are always going to run with what people say and just, and just stand on that and just say that it's the truth and whatever the case before the evidence ever even come out. But it is what it is. And, I will, like I said, I will always bleed maize and blue. I'm going to continue to support my team. I'm going to continue to watch Michigan games. I'm going to continue to even go to Michigan games if the Lord enables me to do that. And I will support my team. No matter who's the coach and who's not. I will always support my team. So I'm just on here just rambling. I just had this on my mind. It's just a way for me to let this off my chest. So this is kind of like therapy for me to make videos like this and to let the world knows my train of thought about this whole entire situation, dealing with Michigan and Ann Arbor and dealing with Jim Harbaugh, and he had knowledge of everything that was going on with, what they accusing Michigan of doing. It just seemed like the whole world just have it out for Michigan. But I believe at the end of the day, I'm going to tell you just like this. No matter what happens, no matter if they find Michigan guilty, no matter if they find Michigan innocent, I'm going to tell you one thing. Michigan will never, ever go through this again. This is the darkest moment, I believe, in Michigan football history. This moment right here has to be the darkest moment in Michigan history. And Michigan will never, ever, ever be back in this situation again. Let this be a learning lesson to every team that's watching this, that's watching everything that's going on with Michigan. Don't put yourself in that situation. I'm not saying Michigan put themselves in the situation. We don't know the evidence, but right now it's not looking great at all. It's not looking good, but we'll see what happens. And until then, I love y'all guys. I love all of my Michigan brethren and sisters, and so we just have to stay strong. And we just have to support one another even when the world is against us and the whole world wants to see Michigan burn to the ground. But we all have to just support each other, love each other, comfort each other in times like this. And until then, this is Harry Bryant signing out. Hail to the victors. Go Blue. Peace.